Today we are making a video on ExTiX 23.4 and here is the desktop boot menu. Here you can see it's with Deepin 23, ExTiX Deepin 23. Here is the boot menu. This is to boot in a live mode. This is to load to RAM, failsafe, memory test, boot hard disk old way, and help. These are the options available in the boot menu. So let's boot it in a live mode, which is a default. It's going to take a maximum of 1 minute or minimum of 30 to 40 seconds because it takes usually that much time in every Linux distro. And I'm running it on a virtual machine, which is a VMware with 40 GB of hard disk, 4 GB of RAM and 2 processors running. It's going to take a few more seconds to load up, so let's wait. Again, Deepin 23 is the, I guess it's in a development version, so you need to be very careful while using this thing. If you are using it in a virtual machine, that's pretty good, no need to be worried. And if you're running in a live mode, it's also good. Always when you're using a Linux distro, always try to use it in a live mode for few hours. And if you are thinking of installation, it's better to use it for few hours in a live mode. If you are satisfied without any bugs, then you go and install it. That will be good for your PC also. Instead of using it in a live mode, if you go directly to the installation process, it may have some bugs and it's going to ruin your PC. I don't want that to happen to your PC. It's always good idea to go within a live mode. So as you can see, we saw a mouse pointer here. I think it's working good. Again, I always hated Deepin desktop or a Deepin Linux distro. It's my opinion. If you love it, no problem. For me, I don't like the Deepin desktop or a Deepin Linux. It's not because it's from China. I don't like it for some reason. I'm not going to explain everything because it's going to take a lot of time. It's my personal opinion. I don't recommend that too for people who are normal user. The login key ring did not get unlocked when you logged into your... I don't know what's the password. Let's close this thing. If it close, that will be good. What is happening? Let's type in the password. That's the sound from the Linux distro. Can you close this thing? Let's try to close this thing. You can't close this thing. Let's type in live as a password. I hope that works. I think we have a... This is a heavyweight Linux distro, I guess. Let's first change the display resolution. Again, it's going to always take a lot of time. That's the worst experience from the Deepin always for me. So let's wait patiently and do all these things. Just for you guys, I'm going to use it as in a patience. Let's change the display resolution first. Mine is 1920 into 1080. Let's save it. Let's check the system info first. This is the system info, version 23. Again, don't comment down in the under the video by saying it's a 23 version, it's a development version. I know it's a 23 version and it's in a development, but the previous version also I checked them, the same result or the same experience for me. It's not a first video doing with a Deepin. I made a lot of videos. I completed all the Deepin Linux distros. As soon as they released everything, I tested everything. Always had a bad issue or a bad experience with them. So it's my opinion. If you love it, I don't hate your opinion. It's up to you. I respect your opinion. Let's check few more version like a 6.0.9.1. This is the info of the Linux distro. Let's close it and check the system monitor before opening any apps, because we need to know how much resources are consumed at the beginning of the video and ending of the video. You need to put it like a side by side and you can get an idea of how much resources are consumed. and the memory is around 1.2 GB in the beginning. I'm using a 4 GB of RAM in the VMware. As you can see, here is the RAM, and here is the CPU. CPU is around 60%, which crossed the. Here is a high peak in the beginning. Let us run till here, almost a minute, and check the CPU consumption. This is the memory. Memory is 1.2 GB. It's a mid-weight. So after opening few apps, let's check it back again at the end of the video and see how much resources are consumed. Right now it's going, CPU is going crazy, no problem. It's in a development version, so we need to have an idea of that's going to happen. So this is the graph. As you can see, there is no stable graph because it's a development. Maybe it's going to be in same thing like all versions, stable version also, so we don't know that. I made a lot of videos. If you want to go to Deepin old videos, you can check that out. I already showed that too in system monitor, all this resources consuming in previous videos. So CPU is almost 50%, going up to more than 55%, and the RAM is almost 1.3 GB. And the network, you don't need to see the network because it's an internet connection. We don't want to check that out. And the disks here going like this. So let's check the version about version 6.0.4. Let's close this thing. Let's type in few commands in the terminal. Here is our terminal. Let's maximize this thing and check the version before 0.4.0. Let's type in few commands like inxi-sv8 for the full distro info, and command not found. No problem. Let's type in another command, which is cat etc issue deepin new linux 23. Let's type neofetch if it's available. Neofetch is not available. Let's type in uname. Linux kernel version is 6.3.0 rc4, which is almost latest version. Uname r. This is the Linux kernel version. Let's type in htop if it's available. Let's see. Htop is also not available. Let's exit this thing. And let me show you how to download the distro from their official website, which is ExTiX Linux. It's a bit of laggy. Lot of people already know Deepin Linux distro is too much laggy, and you need to. This is ExTiX Linux Deepin desktop environment, so you can actually use it in a live mode. The original Deepin Linux distro, you can't run it in a live mode because you need to compulsory install it in a hard disk. That's a bad experience for most of the people, because if you have a bugs, you need to struggle with the bugs. You need to always have a Linux distro which has a live mode, because you need to test it as a live and boot it in a live mode and test if there are bugs. If you are satisfied, then you can also install it, but they don't have that option. You need to compulsory install it with 80 GB of hard disk space, almost 120 GB you need, like 80 GB always for installation process. Here is the version of ExTiX Deepin 23.4, which is live based on Deepin 23 Alpha 2. As you can see, they clearly mentioned this is a development version or an alpha version, and here is the full info. If you want to read everything, you can go with the official website extern.se, which is their website, and here is the full info of what's changed. There's nothing changed, just the kernel and some Deepin desktop environment, they said, and the installed program won't crash or anything like that. If that's happening, that's pretty good. Let's go to the installation or a download, not the installation. Let's try to download this thing. Where is the download link for the? Let's click on this thing, and the download link should be available down. That That's a previous post. Read more. I'm using a VPN, so it's going to take a few seconds, or maybe the website also should be taking a few seconds there. This is the full info, and this is the download link. It's going to take you to the SourceForge website, which is this thing, or you can directly type in this URL. If you want, just go to the downloads, you can just type in this URL, and the file size is around 3.3 GB. That's okay for the normal user, or people who has a Metro connection, internet connection, who has unlimited internet connection. They don't have to be worried. People who are with a limited bandwidth, it's a 3.3 GB. I need to mention this thing because some people use it in a limited, who has a limited internet connection. This is the file size. This is the download link, and this many downloads have been downloaded. Let's wait for a few seconds. It's going to trigger the downloads, and here is the download. You can download here by clicking download, and the download is started. I'm using a VPN, so it's taking a lot of time there. No problem, let's close this thing. And here is the notifications or settings available. I already made a video on Deepin Linux 23 alpha version. If you want, you can go check it out in my channel by just typing Deepin 23 in the search option in the beside the channels. I'll show you in the end of the video if you want. Let's launch the applications. I think I need to show you the installation process. Let's see the installer. Where is the installer? Let's check the installer. We can't see the installer here. Let's type in install. Maybe we should be finding that. And that's the notification there. Refracta installer. It's going to start the installation process. You don't want that. I'll just show you the live mode instead of installing all these things. It's not worth showing you. So let's launch some apps. These are the few customizations settings. As you can see here, these are all the pre-installed apps which comes with ExTiX Linux with a Deepin desktop environment. Not that much of apps, but these are available. Let's open the App Store. It's going to take a few seconds. Again, this is the new settings or a new style of Deepin. Let's close this thing. If you want to edit widget, you can edit it. Let's try to. It's so much laggy and buggy. I don't know what is going on here. Edit widget. Can you drag and drop or do what you want to do here? Can't do anything. It's okay. Let's close that thing. And here is the App Store. Let's see its work. It is working. And let's check the version of the App Store. The version is 8.0.0. Let's close this thing. Again, they have a lot of bugs because it's a development version. These are the apps. Let's check the updates. Takes some time to load up. Need to be patient. Manage updates. It is taking so much time. So let's check the other applications like a file manager. Here is our file manager. Let's check about. The version will be same for almost every app, like 6.0, and there will be something different like this because it's a Deepin desktop environment apps. the version should be same for almost everything. Let's open Synaptic Package Manager and check the version. Version should be 0.91, I guess. Yes, the 91.3. If the package installer will be installed, then you will be seeing a click or a right button here and the installed version. I'm just going to scroll it down very fast because it's a lot of list there. If you want to slow it down, you can go into YouTube settings and slow down the speed to 0.25, and you can see the installed packages right there. If you want to check the version, you can check the version beside here. So that's the Synaptic Package Manager. Let's close this thing. Again, it's still taking a lot of time. What else we left? Calculator, calendar. I'll just going to show you the calendar. They are not important, but it's important for few people. 5.9.12. Let's close this thing. Let's check what else we left still here. Deepin Home, which is a forum, I guess. Device Manager. Hardware and drivers. Let's check the version before. The version is 6.0.5. You can change the theme to dark or a light theme. Again, it's also taking a lot of time here. I'm running it on a VMware. Here are some info. CPU is 12 Gen. We have an updates. It took a lot of time, almost a minute maximum, I guess. And these are all the pre-installed apps, as you can see. There's nothing to show you here because the release note is not available. Also, even if it's available, it's just given like a kernel version, all these things. That's it. Nothing. They didn't explain any updates of the apps. So there is nothing update here. These are all the apps available with the versions. If you want to check the version, I think you need to open the apps. This is not going to show you in the App Store because a lot of times I checked in previous version also. App Store is not properly fixed, I guess, or that's the problem with it. Let's check the other apps. Image viewer. Let's check the image viewer version. We don't have the about here, so we can't see what version is installed. That's okay. Let's drag it down. I think that's it for the apps. Let's finally check the text editor and check the version 6. Again, the apps which comes with the Deepin desktop environment will be starting with the version 6 and there will be different numbers at the end, so it will be common in 6. So that's the common sense there. You need to know that. I think this installer. I think that's it. Let's finally check the screen capture also, because some people need the screen capture. That's the old screen capture, you can call it, which was previously available in the Deepin desktops. So let's close this thing. These are some app options. This is a connecting. It's showing connecting screenshot. This is the widget available. Here is the system monitor. It almost looks like a Mac OS because you can see this icon. That's the sound from the Linux distro. It's not from the me. And this is a grand search. I don't know. It's like a finder. I named it like that. Let's see browser. Let's check system monitor. And let's see how much resources are consumed right now. We just opened few apps. It's almost 2.1 GB. That's a lot. And if you want, you can compare it at the beginning of the video and ending of the video. You will be having an idea of how much resources are consumed. It's everything in front of you. I didn't done anything. Everything was done. I'm not going to edit any single thing. You need to know about this Linux distro, how much resources it will consume. Again, it's not for a lightweight or it's not a lightweight Linux distro, or it's not for a low-end PC. You need to be having a good PC. Mine is 12th gen i5 processor. It's a mid processor, but i5 is also struggling. Even the stable version also struggled. If you want, you can go into my channel and check the previous videos. If you want, I will show you in few seconds. Here is the CPU is also going crazy. Again, it's a development version. I am not going to say wrong anything. These are the resources consuming. I'm saying because the stable version also have the same issues or the same resources consuming. People who are here for the lightweight Linux distro, this is not a lightweight Linux distro for you. It's better go with the LXQT version. I already made a video of RTX Linux today. If you want, you can check that out, which was a lightweight, and the maximum resources consumed at the end of the video was 3x8 MB, which is almost 900 MB. At the beginning it was like a 500 MB, 550 MB or 600 MB. So that's a lightweight Linux distro. If you want, you can go with it. I made a video again. You can watch that video too. So let's open the internet browser. This part is only for the viewers who want to watch my content without subscribing. People who already subscribed, you can just skip it. There's nothing important for you. It's just for the others. Here is our web browser. It's going to take a few seconds, I guess. The URL to my channel is youtube.com/ or a slash, you can call it 9to5linux. If you are using a web browser in any devices like a TV, mobile or a tab, you just need to use this URL in your browser. If you are using a mobile app or a YouTube app in a mobile, TV or a tab, you just need to type in just 9to5linux in the YouTube app. It's going to take to my channel directly. So let's click on enter. It's going to take a few seconds because I'm using a VPN. We should be having our channel here. This is my channel. If you want to watch the previous videos of previous version of Deepin Linux, just type in Deepin. You should be having a search symbol or a magnifier symbol like this. You need to type in beside that and click on enter. In any devices it will be same. And here are the Deepin Alpha 2. I made a lot of videos on the Deepin. Again, ExTiX 22, the worst Deepin-based experience. In the previous videos also it had the same things. It's not with the ExTiX Linux, it's because of the Deepin. I already made a lot of videos. It's my opinion, it's not for everyone. You should be loving the Deepin Linux distro. It's up to you. I have no problem. For me, it's not good Linux distro. It's my opinion. It can't change. I'm fixed because I made a lot of videos, not a one single video. As you can see here, there's a lot of Deepin desktop environment. I made just because people want to watch the Deepin Linux distros or the latest Linux distro from the video. I'm just making for them. I don't really love to make this Deepin Linux distro. I make this because I promise that I will release or make a content as soon as any Linux distro is available. I will make that content. So even the Deepin, if I hate the Deepin, I'm going to make it because people want to watch the content for that. I promise that I will make a latest release content. So I made this too. And again, if you are here for the Linux content, you just need to go to the Linux playlist. As you can see, here is a Linux playlist. Go to view full playlist, and you should be having videos, a lot of videos, almost like 1542 videos of various Linux distros. I covered every different Linux distros in this world. almost like a 70 to 80% of the various Linux distros. I covered that. If you want, play all, or if you want, you can shuffle it all, or you can type it your favorite Linux distro here, and you will be available with the latest videos, because I'll post the content as soon as the ISO file is released, or it may be a development alpha version, whatever it may be. I will be making that content on that day, so you don't need to be worried or wait for that, wait and check for another channels. If you want, you can go with check other channels. I don't have any problem, because you want a content, you can go search anywhere you want. I am going to provide a latest content, so if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. If you don't want, it's clearly up to you. I am not going to force you. Again, some info is balance here. I'm going to post 2 videos daily without missing any day. I'm providing that from the past 5 years. These are the timings. You need to be at this timing. There will be videos available before this timing, because I will put every video in a premiere mode. So you will be having an idea of what I will be posted that day. And here is the community. I'll give you all the info. If you want anything, you can. I will almost completely give you info of the Linux distros. You don't need to be worried. So here are all the info. And if you want to subscribe, you can. If you don't want, it's up to you. Again, that's it for the video. Let's close this thing and end this video. I closed it, but it's going to take a lot of time. No problem. Let's shut it down. Before shutting down, let's check the system monitor once again. Start system monitor. And let's check how much resources are consuming right now. What is the RAM consumption here? 2.3 GB. Again, it's not for the people who have 2 GB RAM. It's not clearly for you. It's almost a 2.3 GB already. If you have a 2 GB of RAM, it's better don't go with it, because you're going to be struggling all the time. I don't want that to happen for you. And here are the processors running right now. I forgot to show that. Our services here. I even forgot to show this thing. No problem, let's show that at the ending of the video. It's not going to affect anything. These are all the apps. If you want, you can slow it down or stop the video as you wish. Let's close this thing and end this video. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It will give you as a good content for you. Other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.